Well, apparently President Trump can't even sit down for dinner without possibly getting shot at. This last Saturday, on April 25th, media from both sides, including the leftist leaning CBS, NBC, CNN, and ABC news networks, got together for this White House Correspondents' Dinner in which President Trump and most of his cabinet was actually present. And this was held at the Washington Hilton. That's right, a hotel that everyone has access to. Now, the suspect has been caught. His name is Cole Allen, and we don't like to make assumptions here. However, if you thought that he was a leftist, Trump deranged fanatic, you'd be right.
We begin this morning with developing details after gunshots erupted outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner over the weekend, sending guests scrambling and prompting a major security response.
Now, the suspect accused in that shooting is expected to be arraigned today in a federal courtroom in Washington. Investigators say the alleged gunman wrote a manifesto that he planned to target Trump administration officials from the highest ranking to the lowest.
In an interview with 60 Minutes last night, President Trump described the tense moments when he and the First Lady were rushed from the ballroom. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has the very latest.
Moments after the sound of gunfire, Secret Service whisked President Trump, the First Lady, and other top officials out of the White House Correspondents' Dinner in a ballroom at the Washington Hilton.
I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him.
A long-standing Washington tradition, Saturday's dinner marked the first time President Trump attended the event as a sitting president. Less than 24 hours later, the president sat down with CBS News 60 Minutes.
I started walking with him. I started walking. And they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also.
The president posted video on social media of the suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, sprinting through a Secret Service checkpoint, and later images of him after his arrest.
Now, I looked into this, and I wanted to show you guys what I saw regarding this Washington Hilton layout. Here is the map here. Now, the Correspondents' Dinner was held in this international ballroom here. And information has come out that Cole Allen is actually from, I think, Torrance, California, and he took a train ride a couple days before this event was taking place, and probably took the train because he could get all of his knives and guns that they found on him and whatnot, through it to his destination, which was Washington, D.C. And of course, if he took it by air, he probably couldn't bring anything with him. And yeah, makes sense, right? The security is pretty good there. And so what we're looking at here, and this is just my thoughts, I haven't found any information on this, but thinking that, he was up at a higher floor and he took the elevator here. So the elevator is right here. And then you had all the Secret Service security right here for the entrance. This is a president's walk here. I think the stage is right here. So he was trying to rush through here and then target Trump and all the cabinet and everything right here. He'd only have seconds to do this, right? Because security would be on his butt, and Secret Service. However, they probably had a Secret Service station here, and he was just starting to open fire running here. He hit one of the Secret Service members in the chest, but they were wearing a bulletproof vest. So Trump had said in a conference after, he was saying that he checked in with his Secret Service agent and he was doing okay. So that's good. What do you guys think? How do you think he was able to get into here so easily? Because we know the Washington Hilton and other hotels, they don't really have the highest security, and the security just really focuses around different kinds of events and whatnot as needed. But who is Cole Allen, and what were his motives? And the night that he went and did this, police and FBI went and raided his home in California, and this is what they found.
For the third time in 2 years, Donald Trump has become the target of an assassination attempt. The alleged gunman's 1,000-page manifesto reveals he was trying to take out administration officials as well as the US president. Senior CBS correspondent Nancy Cordes has the latest.
He was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him.
President Trump, still in his tuxedo late last night, hailed the Secret Service for saving his life again.
Where's it coming from?
In this video, if you listen closely, you can hear the series of shots and then the crashing of plates as officers rushed into the ballroom. As reporters crawled under the tables, the president and vice president were hustled out by their security details, as were the secretaries of Defense, Treasury, and Health and Human Services, along with the House Speaker and other leaders. The suspect had raced past the security checkpoint just upstairs from the ballroom, exchanging gunfire with agents before he was tackled. Authorities say Cole Thomas Allen, a teacher from California, sent a message to his family right before the incident saying his plan was to target administration officials, prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. His brother alerted police in New London, Connecticut, but it was too late.
Now, here's the source of his news and most likely his brainwashing. The suspect here, Cole Allen, shared posts on social media comparing President Trump to Adolf Hitler and encouraging others critical of his presidency to purchase guns, according to this CNN review of 2 social media accounts that appear to belong to this Cole Allen guy. Also, according to this article, echoed arguments in a message that he had allegedly sent his family members before the attack, that he actually laid out a plan to target Trump admin officials and expressed anger at their actions. So he also frequented platforms like Blue Sky, which is notorious for anti-Trump rhetoric. Now, I wonder where he got the idea that Trump was like Hitler.
Democrats have either called or compared President Trump and his supporters to Nazis for years, going back to his first administration. That trend began again in May when Minnesota Governor Tim Walz compared immigrations and customs enforcement to the Gestapo, the Nazis' political police force.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye, just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared.
The Gestapo, whose official German name translates to secret state police, had the power to be the judge, jury, and executioner. It helped track, find, and kill Jews during the Holocaust. Democrats on the Oversight Committee continued their Nazi comparisons during Thursday's hearing.
When you compare the old films of the Gestapo grabbing people off the streets of Poland, and you compare them to those nondescript thugs who grabbed that graduate student, it does look like a Gestapo operation. You know, my dad served in Second World War. He fought the Nazis in Northern Africa. He fought the Nazis on the Italian peninsula. And I think he's looking down right now and he's happy that I'm fighting today's Nazis.
Because if we just roll this clock on the wall back 75 years, we'd be looking at a time in Nazi Germany where people ran around with signs like this new ICE sign that says, "Report all foreign invaders to ICE," with Uncle Sam there holding up the sign. This could have been a Gestapo member 75 years ago. "Report all Jews."
The ICE sign he held up is genuine and was posted on social media by the Department of Homeland Security on June 11th.
A lot of that's been addressed and debunked before, but I'll quickly go into it. For one thing, foreign invaders have been clearly defined as those who have come into the country illegally and have caused trouble, committed crimes, okay? It's not all immigrants, okay? Trump has expressed his appreciation for immigrants. His wife, as I understand, is an immigrant. And he got a lot of votes from immigrants for the 2024 election, okay? Now, the judge, jury, executioner kind of thing in comparing ICE to the Gestapo is they've already been found guilty of a crime, and that is crossing the border illegally. They don't need to go through a judicial process or a judicial process, okay? It's already been shown that, okay? It's clearly evident, the fact that they don't have legal documentation, a card or anything, all right? So we can knock that off right now. This is all, and this is a topic for another video, but this is another way that Democrats are trying to bottleneck the deportation process that Trump promised the American people that he would fulfill. And it's not happening. He's not doing anything illegal. And it's this kind of rhetoric. And this was back in 2025, and it's still, even very recently, it's causing stuff like this happen again and again. And the people perpetuating it for clickbait need to ask themselves, is it worth it? Is it worth killing people or having people die on account of our reckless comparisons and rhetoric? Because stupid people can't understand the difference because they can't even do 5 minutes of research. Apparently, some people think it's worth it. Now, Caroline Levitt here, right after the assassination attempt at the Washington Hilton happened, said this about the rhetoric.
Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
Yeah, and again, the guy posting this here, this Ed Krasenstein, is saying here, Trump is America's Hitler. Apparently, he's not getting the message. However, a message was sent from Trump.
John, your phone rang early this morning?
Yeah, my phone rang shortly after 7 a.m. My landline, George, actually a number that few people call, and it was President Trump calling. He said at first he was calling to see if I was okay with what happened last night. Are you okay? And then he reiterated many of the things he said in his press conference last night, emphasizing the unity that he felt in that moment, that he felt at the dinner before the shooting and certainly after with the people who reached out to him. And he said absolutely, and he was quite firm about this, that dinner must be rescheduled. It must be rescheduled. He knows that I was a former president of the White House Correspondents Association and had worked with him on a dinner that never actually happened back during COVID. And he was saying, we've got to get this dinner back on. It has to happen.
Exactly. Now, is that someone who's like Hitler? Would Hitler sit down and have dinner or wish the well-being of someone that has been opposed to him? We all know ABC News has been very, very, very much opposed to Trump, and you could say they're even very Trump deranged. So my question to you, Tim Walz, is this someone who is taking people and disappearing them, kidnapping them, taking them away to foreign torture dungeons? Do you know what ICE is doing? Have you been on those raids? Or are you just assuming, based on this language, these fragrant lies that have been perpetuated by the media, so that you can have Trump look bad, so you can keep yourself in office for another term? Now, let's look at Cole here. What if Cole Allen had actually taken time to look past all this propaganda? What if he questioned why people would call Trump a Nazi, and even maybe examine the president's actions a little bit further than in the headlines that he reads? But he didn't. He just reacted emotionally, packed up a bunch of guns, rode a train across country, and tried to kill Trump. And this is why this kind of rhetoric is so dangerous. You have people that, even though they could be highly intelligent, they get swept up in this emotion, this brainwashing, and they take actions that forever change their lives. Is this kind of dangerous rhetoric worth the clicks? Now, what do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. If you got value from this video, please like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos.